see. Okay.
This is Thinking Thursdays Part 2. This is the question segment. Okay, Sydney, I'm asking you a question. So, lunch money. Do you think that this book in the end might have a moral to it?
Yes, I do think it will.
Why do you think that?
I'm not sure.
Because, is it like the form of writing seems like it's gonna have a moral, or what's happening so far?
Well, it's just when I read it, it didn't feel like it ended, so I think I have to read on.
Okay. Now, who's asking?
I'll ask Emily.
Okay. What do you have to ask Emily?
Emily, in the book 39 Clothes, who is the main character?
Well, there's more than one main character. There's a little baby in this movie, in this book that they haven't mentioned. They said that there's a little baby, but they didn't mention their name. Dan and Amy are brother and sister, and they're mostly the main characters.
Okay, now, Sydney is going to ask me a question.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh, Emily's going to ask me a question.
So far in the book, who are the main characters, and which character is your favorite character?
The main characters so far are Annabeth, a girl, obviously, Percy Jackson, and those really, so far, a girl named Raina, and she's like the leader of the camp, and those are pretty much so far the main characters. And my favorite character is Annabeth, because she's a daughter of Athena, and she's really smart, but also really strong, so she's cool. Yeah. Okay, Sydney, I ask you a question now? Now, what do you think the author's main idea of writing this was? Why did he choose to write this book? Why did he choose to write about this?
I think he chose to write about this because maybe he had a life lesson that involved money, and it said that Greg went to the bank and got a bank account, so maybe and he said it was in third grade, I think, and then so he got a bank account in third grade, and then maybe the author got a bank account in third grade.
Okay. Now, Sydney, you're going to ask Emily a question?
Okay. How did you enjoy reading this book, and why?
How I enjoyed reading this book is because it's like a series of unfortunate events, and I really like the series of unfortunate events. It's a really good series. I already finished it. It's kind of the same in a way, but they're also different. The only different part of the book is that they don't go from family to family. They stay at one family, but they also get lost in the book, and they also get lost in the other book. I think that's really it.
Okay. Now, Emily is going to ask me a question.
Do you think there's going to be a lesson in this book?
In this book, I don't think that there will be a lesson. There might be a sort of hidden lesson, like showing you that it's good to keep going and keep moving and don't give up. But I don't think there will actually be a moral or a lesson that is actually said in the text. Now, I ask Sydney a question. Sydney, have you read any other books by this author?
I don't know. No, I haven't.
You haven't?
This is the first book that I read, and I went online on 2 Tuesday night, and I thought of what book I should read, and I went online and I said good books for 10-year-olds, and then it gave me a list and then pictures, and then I looked at the descriptions, and I thought that Lunch Money was the best to read.
Okay, and if you found another book by this author, would you read it?
I would definitely read it because I find that Lunch Money is a very exciting book.
Okay, that's good. Now, Sydney's going to ask Emily a question.
What's your favorite character?
I don't really have a favorite character. I like all the characters in the book. I don't really have a favorite character.
Okay. And now Emily will ask me, and this will be the last question for our recording.
Okay, so Jersey, when you're reading this book, what do you think of? Like, as what's going to happen next?
What's going to happen next? Well, it's different because as I'm reading, I don't know what happens exactly for the whole book, so when I'm inferring, I take in all the, parts to think about, and that's how I infer. It's about Greek mythology, something weird could happen, weird things happen, so when I infer, I make sure to include the details that are most important to help me make the best inference. Okay, that's the end of our recording.
This is part 2 questions.